As we advance as a species, there are a lot of things that once seemed impossible even a century ago that are now a reality. It's called evolving. For example, there was a time when most people believed that Earth was flat. Then Eratosthenes came onto the scene and proved that the world is round. So when Isaac Newton discovered gravity in 1687, he set in motion, pun intended, the age of classic mechanics. Putting to good use a few questions, he was able to describe the motion of a ball moving through the air. At the time, it was groundbreaking. But today, quantum mechanics rules the roost. This school of physics deals with the physical realm on the scale of atoms and electrons, thus making many of the equations in classical mechanics useless. With that being said, let's take a look at 3 of the most amazing quantum breakthroughs that are bringing liberation and freedom to the world of science today. We kick things off with a team of Chinese scientists claiming to have constructed a quantum computer that has the ability to perform certain computations almost 100 trillion times faster than the world's most advanced supercomputer. Perhaps this could be the mother of all supercomputers. According to reports, the researchers have constructed the first ever quantum prototype that is much faster than the current supercomputer. In fact, the research itself was published in Science magazine. The breakthrough sheds light on quantum computational advantage, which is also famously known as quantum supremacy. While the project might still be in its infancy, quantum computing is seen as the potential to radically enhance the power and speed of computers, giving them the ability to simulate much larger systems and make groundbreaking advances in the field of chemistry and physics. But it's become a hotly contested tech race between Chinese researchers and some of the largest US tech corporations such as Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. For example, Google announced in 2019 that it had constructed the first quantum computer that was able to perform a computation in under 200 seconds, which would take the world's fastest supercomputer at least 10,000 years to complete, thereby claiming quantum supremacy. But this new Chinese prototype would be able to process 10 billion times faster than the Google prototype, putting it at the summit of quantum supremacy. Yes, the Chinese government is investing heavily in quantum research. In fact, President Xi Jinping's government is building a national laboratory for quantum information sciences that will reportedly cost $10 billion. Another major quantum breakthrough is from Denmark, specifically the University of Copenhagen. According to reports, researchers from the university have advanced their quantum technology to such a degree that classical computers have no way of keeping up. They've developed a chip that, if invested upon, could be improved and used to construct the quantum simulator of the future. Additionally, these results have been published in Science Advances. According to the results, the researchers have developed a nanochip which is less than 1/10 the thickness of a human hair. The chip will allow them to produce enough stable light particles, known as photons, encoded with quantum information to scale up the technology. And in doing so, they may achieve the desired quantum advantage, a state where a quantum device can solve a given computational task faster than the world's most powerful supercomputer. While the researchers are yet to conduct the actual quantum advantage experiment, the article that they published in Science Advances proves that their chip produces a quantum mechanical resource that could be used to achieve a quantum advantage. To get to this desired state, it requires that one has the ability to control about 50 quantum bits, or quantum qubits, which is the quantum physics equivalent of the binary bits of zeros and ones used in classical computers. Currently, researchers are confident that they will use their photon research to construct a new and more advanced simulator to solve complex biochemical problems that might, for example, be used in the creation of new medicines. That being said, they are confident about taking the next steps for the technology to become a reality. The major advantage of light-based quantum computers is that the technology is already put in place for enhancements to be made. This includes increasing the number of qubits available to advance photonic chips that are used in the telecom industry. A serious challenge, however, in generating photon qubits has got to do with maintaining high quality. This is exactly where the Copenhagen researchers achieved unprecedented success. And lastly, we move on to none other than IBM. According to a groundbreaking study published in Physical Review Research, a group of University of Chicago scientists has announced that they were able to turn IBM's largest quantum computer into a quantum material itself. They programmed the computer in such a manner that it was able to turn into a type of quantum material known as an exciton condensate, whose existence has only recently been proved. Such condensates have been identified for their potential in future technology mainly because they conduct energy with almost zero loss. The reason that this quantum breakthrough is so thrilling is that it gives you a feeling that quantum computers can be used as programmable experiments themselves. This could therefore serve as a workshop for constructing potentially useful quantum materials. Physicists are particularly interested in these types of new physical states, mainly because these discoveries are essential in shaping the development of groundbreaking technology. For example, one particular state called a superconductor forms the basis of MRI machines. Despite the fact that exciton condensates had been predicted half a century ago, it's only recently that scientists have been able to actually make one work in a lab without having to resort to the use of extremely long magnetic fields. However, they still continue to impress scientists because they can transport energy without losing any of it at all along the way, something that no material discovered has been able to do thus far. If scientists can be able to understand them better, they could be the key to creating incredibly energy-efficient materials. For an exciton to condensate, it must be created from a lattice of particles and then cooled down to below -270 degrees Fahrenheit. It's then coaxed to form particle pairs known as excitons. They then make these pairs become entangled. Because of the complexity of this method, scientists have only been able to make excitons condensate a few times. Now enter the quantum computer. IBM makes its quantum computers available for people all over the world to test their algorithms. And so, a duo of students, Leanne Sager and Scott Smart, has come up with a set of algorithms that analyze the Rochester quantum bits as an exciton. This quantum computer works by entangling its bits, so that once a computer becomes active, the entire thing becomes an exciton condensate. This complex study, therefore, demonstrated that quantum computers can be utilized as platforms for analyzing exciton condensates on a more complex level. Processing the ability to program a quantum computer so that it's able to behave like an exciton condensate might prove extremely useful and amazing when you consider the potential of exciton condensates for being used as energy-efficient materials. Aside from that, the ability to program such a complex quantum mechanical state on a computer will be marked as an impressive and groundbreaking scientific advancement. Because quantum computers are relatively new, researchers are still exploring the extent of which we can perform with them. But one thing that scientists have known for quite a while now is that there are certain natural phenomena that are virtually impossible to analyze when using classical computers. And with that being said, which one of these quantum breakthroughs impresses you the most? Let us know in the comments section down below. Every company has its secrets and quirks, but Tesla is even more notable because of its incredible factories and how many cars it can produce. Did you know that in 2020, the automotive company produced about 509,737 vehicles? So how are they able to create so many vehicles in a single year? How exactly do they do it when so many other companies can't even get close? AI factory magic. After Tesla bought its automotive factory at a fraction of its original cost of $1 billion for just $42 million, it embarked on a mission to build the most advanced automotive factory in the world. They added top-tier equipment, which includes lots of AI-powered robots. The factory is located in Fremont, California, and sits on land that spans the size of 185 football pitches. That alone is impressive. Elon Musk defines Tesla's Gigafactory as the machine that builds other devices, and this is because of how AI powers it. In 2014, when construction began on the Gigafactory Nevada, it started as an experiment, but now it is a significant identifier of Tesla's success. Elon Musk's Tesla has other Gigafactories in the works like GigaTexas, GigaBerlin, and GigaShanghai. And since the GigaNevada, they've gotten better at creating these factories more efficiently. For example, Tesla's AI factory in Nevada took about 2 years to complete the first stage. But Tesla's Shanghai factory took just 10 months. Even the GigaBerlin is said to be built in just 11 months. Perfect production. If you think Tesla is fast now, just wait. With Tesla's vertical integration for battery manufacturing with Panasonic, Tesla's factories will have about 1,000 gigawatt-hours. And this would do more to increase Tesla's car production to even greater heights. Plus, Musk plans to make 20 million deliveries by 2030, which may look far-fetched, but it's possible with their constantly increasing efficiency. They aim to get this done by replicating their Gigafactory in other locations. In the factory, car production starts with large-sized coils of aluminum that weigh up to 20,000 pounds. A robot will then raise these machines off the ground and feed the coils into another machine called the blanking machine. This machine then uncoils the aluminum and flattens it. Then, with lasers, it cuts the uncoiled aluminum into flat sheets called blanks. These are transferred by robots from a blanking machine into a giant hydraulic press that stamps the blanks into a required shape, that then form the different parts of the car, like doors, hoods, side panels, and trunks. These are then assembled later to create the chassis of the vehicle. Tesla's factory has about 200 robots of varying sizes and complexities. Some robots on the manufacturing floor, for example, are small, and some have the power to lift a whole car off the ground. Some others carry out delicate tasks, and some work on basic tasks like lifting and moving. Elon Musk's aim with these various types of robots is to maximize automation to the fullest, unlike other companies that use robots just for heavy lifting. It's also worth noting that the majority of Tesla's Gigafactory robots are named after X-Men characters. It's a great way to make AI more interesting. According to Tesla, when they spoke about naming their robots, they said, "Rather than refer to these robots by technical descriptions, we named them after X-Men characters." Xavier stands at the trim line entrance, lifting cars down to the floor from an electrical rail, while Iceman, Wolverine, and Beast do more heavy lifting nearby. Storm and Colossus can be found at the end of the chassis line, and Vulcan and Havoc work as a team to lift cars back onto the rail. To us, these robots are like superheroes, so we figured they deserved superhero names. Once these machines are done shaping the aluminum into individual parts that will make up the car body and chassis, they're then placed on conveyor belts that then go to the human workers, who then inspect them. Once this is done, they're then sent out to be stored in a massive-sized warehouse that's now taken to a body shop, which is assembled by robots. You could say that the entire process is a well-oiled machine. Putting the pieces together. This process starts with the floor of the car. Then the sides of the vehicle are added on. Plus, the front area of the vehicle gets attached. But for Model 3, the process is quite different from this because the majority of the work is done by robots who weld the pieces together. After this process is done, you get a good view of the car's body, and then it's taken by one of those simple programmed robots for heavy lifting, which brings this completed body and puts it into a conveyor belt that then carries it to a painting area. In the painting area, there are specialized robots that pre-paint treatments on the car's body, and after all of these, the vehicle comes out fully painted. At this point, it's almost difficult to imagine just how many stages the car has been through in such a short space of time. The famous assembly line. And this, according to many, is the most tasking part of Tesla's AI production process. This is so because of Elon Musk's publicized goal years back to increase car production to 5,000 units weekly. Musk described it as production hell, and to speed up production, they created a second assembly line in the Fremont parking lot, which was bigger than 2 football fields. Whoever said size doesn't matter hasn't heard of Tesla. Moving on, one thing that has seen Tesla's AI factory leap ahead of the competition was the use of smart carts over the popular conveyor belts. These carry individual robots that carry individual cars and go around the factory as needed. And thanks to the magnetic strips on the factory floor, these smart carts move all by themselves. In the general assembly, robots and humans work together to work on wiring, seat installation, windows, the windscreen, and software programming. One impressive thing about the Tesla robots is how one robot can work on seat installation and then move on to do windows. It goes to show just how much focus the company has put towards efficiency. After all these are done, they carry out a quality test to ensure everything is in tip-top condition. What's more, every single car made in Tesla's factory already has an owner, thanks to their long waiting list. So the entire project has practically already paid for itself. On average, a Tesla vehicle takes just days to be built. Tesla cuts costs and maximizes speed because most of their parts are made under the same roof. For example, the battery packs and the battery modules. Tesla remains an innovative company and is still in the lead in the electric car company space, thanks to their speed and efficiency. So we'll leave you with this question. Do you think another electric car company will dominate Tesla in the future? Or is Elon Musk's plan for EV domination only just beginning? Let us know in the comments. Ever since its humble beginnings in 2003, Tesla has never wandered far from our minds. It's had its fair share of doubters and naysayers over the years, but today, the same doubters regard Tesla as one of, if not the best vehicle manufacturers out there. So when someone else bets against Elon Musk or Tesla, they better be ready to put their money where their mouth is. And in this case, our someone happens to have all the money in the world, and he's putting it everywhere apart from Tesla. You guessed it. Yet another billionaire tech magnate, Bill Gates. In a recent interview with Bloomberg Technology, Bill Gates all but admitted to shorting Tesla stock. In another interview with CNBC, Gates successfully dodged the question about whether he had a short position in Tesla. In the Bloomberg interview, he might have stumbled as he tried to awkwardly dance around the topic.
Been more on the long side, but it's great.
Shorting a stock is basically investing in a way that would be profitable to you, the investor, if the value of the asset falls. You can also describe shorting stocks as the average billionaire's alternative to intense rivalries or trendy Twitter feuds. Shorting is considered to be highly unethical in the finance industry, mainly since you'd literally be betting on and profiting from a company's downfall. And also there's potential for unlimited losses, which is not only unethical, but fraudulent. Again, Bill Gates didn't specifically say that he was shorting Tesla, but by the way he danced around that question, he might as well have. In a recent podcast on the Joe Rogan Experience, Tesla's iconic CEO Elon Musk shocked the masses when he claimed Bill Gates had bet against Tesla in the stock market.
I also heard that at one point he had a big short position against Tesla, which was I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems weird.
According to Musk, he received the news from people he knew that knew the situation well.
People I know who know the situation well, I said, "Are you sure?" They said, "Yeah."
Elon went on to say that he harbored no resentment whatsoever towards the Microsoft founder, but we don't really believe that, do we? For us, the public, it's obviously a lot more fun to propagate the idea of billionaire feuds and make them seem significantly more intense than they actually are. But in this case, to say that these two tech moguls don't see eye to eye would be a spot-on assessment. When asked about the validity of Elon Musk's comments on Bloomberg, Bill Gates more or less put his stamp of approval on Musk's statement, inadvertently of course. To quote Mr. Gates, "I think Tesla is an amazing company. I wish I'd owned or been more on the long side." A statement which was followed by a cheeky little laugh. "But it's great. I have lots of friends and relatives that own Teslas that I helped buy for them. So nothing but positive thoughts about Tesla and its role," said Mr. Gates in the same sentence, in a last-ditch effort to seem less hostile. It's no secret that these two titans of industry don't exactly see eye to eye, but this particular issue definitely shed more light on their well-documented disputes. Prior to the Tesla stock comments, Bill Gates had claimed that the concept of electric trucks and the Tesla Semi by extension was just not viable. When asked how he felt about this on the Joe Rogan Experience, Elon was quite graceful with his answer. Elon said he doesn't believe Gates' comments were ill-intentioned in his remarks about the Semi not being viable. Musk said he just didn't know what he was talking about. Someone probably told him that, and he's just not as close to the physics of it to know better. The pair have had their fair share of disagreements. You'd think that two of the three wealthiest people in the world would at least relate on that exclusive level at the very least. But no, you'd be dead wrong. One prolific and recent billionaire beef the pair had was their debate over the pandemic lockdowns and COVID vaccines. Elon called Bill Gates a knucklehead who had no clue about electric cars. Last year as well, Elon tweeted that his previous one-on-one conversations with Bill Gates had always been underwhelming. Bill Gates doesn't just sit and hang his head low on the sidelines though, he almost always has a rebuttal, or as it's known in billionaire circles, a clapback. In an interview with popular YouTuber Marques Brownlee, also known as MKBHD, Bill praised Tesla for its innovation and promotion of the electric vehicle industry, but made it very obvious that he does not own any Tesla model, and clearly does not intend to. He bought a Porsche Taycan instead.
I just got a Porsche Taycan, which is an electric car.
Okay.
And I have to say, it's a premium price car.
Bill Gates also took issue with Elon's previously stated remarks on the pandemic. In Bill Gates' words, Elon's positioning is one where he maintains that he's not that involved in vaccines, although he makes a great electric car. Elon also seemed unusually happy when giving the bad news of Bill Gates shorting Tesla, probably because of Tesla's swift ascent to the top, which more than likely lost Tesla stock shorters loads of money. Shout out to Bill. Some people would ask why one of the wealthiest and most influential people on Earth with a deep passion for climate change would bet against Tesla. Yes, we are those people, and no, it just doesn't add up, does it? What you probably didn't know is that Bill Gates is also invested in the electric vehicle world, albeit indirectly. Gates invested in battery startup Quantum Space, which has been developing a new kind of solid-state battery. Volkswagen has proven to be very interested in Quantum Space's new battery, so keep your eye out for that much-anticipated collaboration. The two giants' opposing stances on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general are interesting as well. Elon believes that Bitcoin is undoubtedly the future of the world's economy, and investing in it now could lead to life-changing gains down the line. And if you won't take his word for it, you might be surprised to know that Tesla recently diversified its assets by buying $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. Talk about putting your money where your mouth is. Bill Gates' view on crypto is worlds apart from Elon Musk's. He believes that the recent rise in cryptocurrencies, exchanges, and traders is all a phase. Bill Gates is skeptical of the crypto market volatility, to say the least. His stance on the industry might be a bit too harsh, but we'll probably know if he was right or wrong in his judgment a few years down the line. However, it's worth noting that Bill Gates' thoughts on Tesla as a company have drastically changed since he made those remarks on Bloomberg. How could they not? With Tesla going on the tear that they have, it wouldn't be advisable to bet against them a second time. Is their exclusive feud still raging on? We're not sure. But if we had to take a bet, these two haven't heard the last of each other yet. Did you initially doubt Tesla too? What do you think about billionaire beefs? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And until next time, welcome to the future.